Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the channel. I've got to get out in the garden again today. Excuse my voice, I've been struggling. I've been doing some garden cleanup. I started with the front yard and I started on the cut flower garden, the memorial garden, and I've got to finish tackling the back garden. But I want to show you what I've been getting up to. The weather has been rude and disrespectful here in South Texas. We have been getting freezing, frigid, cold to moderately, I won't say warm, but temperate weather. In the 50s and 60s, it still has a lot of cool chill in the air, but it is the weather's changing. The temperatures are changing. I checked the Farmer's Almanac. We've got about 5 more weeks to go before the last frost, and I am trying to get ahead of this growing season. I have been planting seeds, sowing seeds in the garage greenhouse, and I have been sowing seeds directly outside, just doing a lot of cleanup, doing some rearranging. So let's get in the garden and let me show you what I've been up to. These are all of the tall yellow Picasso, I think is how you say it. Picasso canna lily tubers I dug up yesterday. This box here, the bigger box, was in the cut flower garden. I dug a ton of them out. I didn't want them encroaching onto the walkway, nor did I want them up against the foundation of the house, so I dug all those out. This box right here, this smaller box, I had a huge container in the back fence garden. Those were all in there. That's where I had the scare yesterday, and I had to stop because I was done. But all of those came out of that container. So these have to find new homes. I'm going to be taking some to work. I've given some to a couple of friends, and I am giving some to a couple of neighbors. And so, if any of my subscribers are interested in this tall yellow Picasso canna lily, if you'd like some of these tubers, send me a message on Instagram and I will get these out to you. All I will need is an address. So these have to find homes very quickly. And as soon as I can get them into loving homes, I will be getting these out of my garage. I'll be taking some to work as well to see if anyone at work would like some. I may even put some on Facebook Marketplace. I don't know. It's been years since I've tried to use Facebook Marketplace, but I might even try that. But all of these need to find homes. So let me get back in the garden because I've got to tackle today the memorial garden, and I have the peach ones over there. I probably will not have as many of this to dig out or as many of these to dig out. I probably won't have any over there to dig out because those, again, are smaller. They don't get as much water, so they're not as prolific as the yellow one. So let me get to work. Our winter has been rude and disrespectful. And so I covered up the citrus. They are doing smashingly. If you've looked at my Instagram over the past 24 hours, I've posted pictures of the Meyer lemon that I harvested, but the lemons look amazing. They are still covered. I'm going to leave them covered. I probably can take the cover off for the next couple of days because for the next week we're having spring temperatures. So I may open those up and give them a little bit of fresh air today, as a matter of fact. But I've come through here. I've been fertilizing with chicken manure and granular feed, as well as a slow release fertilizer. As you can see, some things have died back. I have harvested the seeds off of that gumfrina. I'm probably going to come in today and cut the death away and toss that in the trash. I just didn't have time yesterday. I spent a lot of hours in the cut flower garden, As you can see, I've got compost everywhere. But yesterday, I spent time cleaning and clearing. As you can see, stuff is still covered up, but I've cleaned and cleared all along both sides of the house, took down the stuff that was growing on the trellises or the archways, whichever way you want to call them. As you can see, I still have some rubbish down there. That was a moonflower. I tossed it down there so that if it did have seeds, which I don't believe it does, but if it does have a little bit of seed left, that it would grow along this area over here and maybe trail across the ground, because I think that would be pretty. Um, I did not bring in these aloe vera, but they're rooted in the ground, so they could still be alive. I'm going to double check to see if the centers are alive. If not, I'll be tossing those into the compost because they can be composted. And I cut down the moringa. We'll see if I can uh, grow or propagate at least one of those. I've already put that in the greenhouse. I did not cut back the lemongrass, but I can do that in the next day or two. I still have much more to do. And so chopping down the lemongrass was not something on my list, but I did put compost over here. And so I spent a lot of time yesterday cutting back all the dead flowers. This is a blue butterfly pea, and I was very surprised. I found that's Gumfrina. We're going to take that Gumfrina off of there later. But I found a seed pod on this plant. I don't see it right now. I put it in towards the center, so it probably might have dropped into the pot to reseed. And if it did, that's wonderful to have a nice blue butterfly pea over here. What I will probably do is in this pot over here, put the purple butterfly pea, just 2 seeds, and let it grow up on here. But I will need to reinforce this because this is not very strong and it pops out a lot. So I will have to fix that maybe today if I have time. I still have to get over to the other side of the house. But I dug out a lot of the cannas, as you all saw, and I moved some things around. I only kept a small clump right here. I put some Gumfrina seeds in this area right here because this is where the Gumfrina pot was sitting, because of course I moved the pot towards the front of the garden. I had to readjust this because I had cannas growing all up in the center of my gazing ball, and it was going to eventually knock the gazing ball over and maybe break it. And I've had this gazing ball for a number of years and I don't want it to get broken. So that's where that is. And then I transplanted some red. I had one red canna over here, which was in that location. I dug a lot of that out and I put a piece of it right here. I think this is, no, this is the yellow one. I have yellow here and yellow here. This is the red one. You can tell because when it starts to grow, it has the red tips. And I put a red one right here. So I will need to come in today and water everything over here. I'm going to put the piggy hydrangea right here. I used to have a plant right here. I can't think of what it's called. I'll put it on the screen, but it went ahead and died. It was a biannual, so it had already spent its life. That is a clump of comfrey. I cut that back and I did some chop and drop along here. I'm probably going to take a part of this comfrey and put a piece of the plant down there somewhere so that I can have two of them over here so I can do more chop and drop. I have some seeds that I'm not sure how they got over here. It could have been from some soil that I used, but I have some Johnny Jump Up little plants that are coming up all along here. All along, I've got Johnny Jump Ups that are coming on. I have some bulbs that will be coming up here. Um, Gladiola bulbs. This right here in the center, that is a piggy hydrangea. It should still be alive, but I think it has gone back dormant. Yeah, it's alive. It's green. The don't know if you all can see. Hang on, let me get close. It's green. So it is alive. It's just not happy because of the cold. So I have a piggy hydrangea right here. I'm going to put the other piggy hydrangea right here. And then I'm going to find a spot to put another comfrey. The rose, I have one of the roses right here. It doesn't look good. It looks like the top has died, but when I tried to tug it out of the ground, it's not coming. So it did root. I don't want to mess with it just yet. But if it doesn't show me any life, if nothing starts popping up, I will put another cutting here. I have more cuttings so that I have a rose here, as well as the rose that I propagated over there from the other side. That one did well. It's been there for about a year, almost two. And so I will put another rose over here. And I may go down further over here and plop a rose down here somewhere. I'm not quite sure, because these pots right here, they don't live here. They're just here temporarily because of the winter. They were actually, sorry about my shadow, they were actually on this bench right here. I covered up the elephant ear and the hosses and stuff, and they're alive under there. So I will be picking all of this up and moving it to its permanent place, or its semi-permanent place, I should say. And I'll probably put a rose over here. I've got some irises sprinkled, as you all can see. Those are irises, and they're green and growing well. It's just they have not been producing irises for me, which is disappointing. So we'll figure it out. But this is what I did yesterday. I have a little bit more to do. I will be coming back over here once I clean up the other side of the house like this, and I'll be watering, and I will also be caulking some areas. I bought some caulk. I noticed that I've got some movement, or maybe they didn't caulk well, or I don't know what happened, but I noticed that I've got some areas that are open, and I don't want that. So I'll be coming over here and caulking all of these joints on this side, but I had to clean this area up in order to get over here because these cannas grow really tall, and it's hard for me to get into this space nearest the house when I have all the plants. So it's going to take me a while, and I'm probably going to need a ladder because as I'm looking at all of the joints, it looks like they're all like that. So I have work to do. This is the right weather for it. It's not too hot. It feels really good. The cold has passed for a little while. So I've got at least 3 to 4 days that I can take care of this side of the house and make sure that I got all of the openings caulked because I don't want them to not be caulked. I even saw here around this that it looks like it is also, the caulking was horrible. So I'll need to take that off and re-caulk that. I hope you all saw what I was talking about. I'll need to scrape as much of that off as I can and re-caulk that. I do have some house paint, so I will be able to go back and paint, but I've got a lot of that over here. Now that I'm looking at it, it looks like this whole entire side looks like that. So I'm not happy. I've got a lot of work to do, and it's going to take me a little while. So let me get at it today. I have a late start because I'm not feeling well. I spent so much time outside yesterday that I think the elements are trying to kill me. So I can't breathe, very congested. I'm sneezing like crazy. I don't even know how this video is going to turn out because I can't stop sneezing. I've been sneezing like crazy since yesterday. This winter has been very hard on me. Lots of sneezing, lots of congestion. Just, I think the outside is trying to kill me. So let me get at it, and then I'll show you all what I'm doing. This is the memorial garden side of the house. I do need to pull weeds. I do need to bring out the lawnmower and cut the weedy, grassy, junky area. I will get that done. It's just probably not going to be today, but I've got a few days. I moved the water barrel that was right here. These are the bricks that I had it sitting on. And so what I think I might do is add a couple more water buckets on this side so that I can increase the water that I am collecting. Oh dear Lord, what's happening here? Oh, I think there's another bird in there, y'all. I'm disgusted. I'm not going to show you all. I'm not going to show you all. Oh, wow. Ugh. Okay, so what's been happening is the water in these buckets was frozen. It just defrosted yesterday, I want to say, finally all defrosted. Well, when I need water and it's going to rain, I'll take the tops off. And so what I found in 3 of the buckets is that the birds that were still around were needing water. And so it looks like I'm going to have to bury another bird. You all probably can see it. I hope you can't see it too well, but there, I believe, is a bird in that bucket. And so I'm going to have to dig a hole and bury a bird. I'm tired of burying things in my yard, y'all. I really am. So what I'll probably do is I'll put that bird right here because I don't want to. I just don't want to go too far with that. I just can't today. I cannot. Ugh, y'all. Okay, so I've got to get over there. Let's go over there. Let's bypass the bird. So we've bypassed whatever's going on in that bucket. Oh my goodness. Um, so here I am over here, and I'll be cutting back all of the canna death in this area. And this canna, from the looks of it, does not appear to have spread as voraciously as the one over in the cut flower garden and the back of the garden. I've got some mums that have gone over. They are not looking the best. That's the mum right there. I'm sorry, I hope y'all can see. I'm going to be digging that mum out. I don't want the mums over here. I put them over here temporarily. I don't like the color of them. Oh, this bee is bothering me. Stop it. I don't like the color of them. There are two. As you can see here, there's a tiny bit of mum there. Excuse my rusty hand, y'all. I've been working. And so I'm going to dig that mum up, and I'm going to move that mum to the cut flower garden because I don't want it over here. It's not the right color scheme, and I don't really like it. I might just get rid of it because if you don't like something in your garden, it's your garden. You can get rid of it. So I need to clean all this up. Let me get my sickle and let me start cleaning. I do have some irises over here as well, and it appears that they are loving their life. As you can see, they're nice and green. I need to double check and make sure that they're not completely buried. And that one's reproduced. I can see some babies coming up. It doesn't look like that one has reproduced, but I will need to clean all this up so I can see what's going on over here. And yeah, so let's get started. I'm not going to worry about the weeds right now, but I am going to cut back and dig out the mums and get this ready for something else. This is a piggy hydrangea. It looks like it's been trying to be choked out by a weed, so we will get it free. And it's alive. I don't know if you can tell, but it's alive. That's a green stem. I hope y'all can see. It's alive. That's a green stem. And so I may, I don't know. I don't know if I have another space for one in this area. We'll see. Once I start digging around, we'll see. I might go and get one more. I don't think so, but we'll see. But I've got things to do. So let's just stop dilly-dallying, waffling, and playing around, and let's just get it because it's not going to get done if I don't do it. So let me go get a bag so that I can get all of this rubbish out at one time without making multiple trips, and then I can dump all this away. So ugh. First, I think I'm gonna bury that bird or whatever that is first because I cannot. So let me get at it. So I've cleaned up all of the cannas over here, and I pulled out a little bit of the other debris over here as well. It doesn't appear that these two rose bushes survived. Did I put two? No, I only put one over there. I can't tug it out of the ground, but the tops don't look good. So I will have to take another cutting and try again. Sometimes I win, sometimes I don't. And I have successfully done this, so we will see. It must have rooted because it's not coming out of the ground. So I think what I might do is just leave it alone and see if something comes up from the base. Sometimes that happens. We'll see. I will be taking these mums out, but I'm going to start down there. See, I got my little box. I've got my shovel, and I'm going to go over here to show you all. I am going to have to take a few of these out because they're migrating into places I don't want them. As you can see here, a little baby has popped up under the edging, so I don't want that there. So that's going to have to come out. So I'm just going to take a couple of these out of here along with those over there. I'm going to take those out because it's encroaching on the iris up there, and I don't want it to shield out the iris. I only want it right here. And then I've got a few towards the edge right here that will have to come out. What I don't like is walking out of my gate. Here's my gate. And I will be getting up some of these really big weeds because it's really soft over here and I can pull the weeds out easily. But I don't like coming in my gate with the lawnmower and there are things that are leaning into my pathway. I don't like things scrubbing on me, touching on me, because what I normally have is a huge orb weaver spider living over here. And I'm sure that she'll be back. I don't see her egg casing, but I did see one over in the white garden. So I know I will have another orb weaver spider. So I don't like things leaning out to where they're going to touch me. I don't like it. Now, the only problem I have is right here. This is my AT&T box, and there's a line. There's a cable running up under here. Now, he had to come out because there was an issue with my cable, and he spliced it, took some out, and reattached everything. So this patch right here, I have to be very careful with it. Excuse me, y'all know I'm having issues, so I might be sniffling and sneezing in these videos for a while now. But this clump right here is in direct path of this wire, and I am hesitant to take it out because it could be intertwined in the wire. It could be going over it, could be going under it. I don't know. I think it might be over here, which is why he put that stone right there. I think he might have bypassed this and put it here. So I'm going to take this here towards the edge out and see if I can get some of this over here out. I'm hesitant, but I don't want it to take over and mess with the possibility of the AT&T. So I'm going to think about that one, but I am going to take some of that out, at least towards the front here. This one over here, I'm going to take a few right in here because it's getting close to the iris. I don't want that. Just a couple, and I don't want it infiltrating into the rose bush either. So I don't have a lot over here that needs to come out, but I do have a few. So let's get started down here, and then we'll work our way back over there. But first, I'm going to take care of my nose because y'all, the outside is trying to kill me. I feel like now is the best time to do this because the ground is soft. It's definitely soft over here. And I can hopefully get these out as easily as I did the ones on the other side yesterday. I'm trying not to tear up my edging, but I just try to get up under the clump and release it. like so. And then you can grab it and try to pull. Now, I probably should have a mask on because this is what caused me troubles yesterday. I just grab it and pull. And of course, it is going to come up, and sometimes it will break a piece, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Now, this one, I'm going to see about coming at it from over here. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. That's why. There's a bulb right here. Let's see if I can grab it. Oh, I'm dislodging my iris, but that's all right. I'll tamp her back in. But I want to get this. There's a lot of it right here. There's generally a lot under the soil. These rhizomes will really move in. They will really move in. And I need to get it out. I need to get it all out from here. And I'm trying to shake the soil off. I'm trying not to damage it, but it is breaking off. It does not want to come out in one chunk. Look how big that is. Can y'all see that? That is massive. That is beautiful. This is the, what's the color? A coral color. And it is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it is breathtaking. Look how beautiful and big that is. That's beautiful. Let's make sure I don't have any more over here. And I do. Oh, nope. That is, oh no, yeah, I do. Here it is right here. It was literally right up under the iris. Look at that. I'm just making sure I don't have any more right here. And then we're going to seat that iris back in like that. Just put those roots right there like that. And we're going to cover her up. The soil is very soft. I mean, it is very soft. There's a lot of little roots. So we're going to grab these roots just in case they want to try and stay put and grow some more. We don't want that. So next, I'm going to try to get this baby that's coming up under. So I'm going to have to take this out right here. So it's attached to this one. I don't want to take all of this out, but if I have to take it all out, I'll take it all out and I'll replant what I want. You can do that. If you decide to dig them up, you can replant them. It's not going to hurt anything. And because the weather is so warm that it's not going to damage it. In my experience, mine has not been damaged by digging them up. All right. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, you can tell it's trying to release that. There we go. There we go. Okay, it's coming off. It doesn't want to come out of there. Look how beautiful that is, y'all. That's beautiful. I really like these cannas. They grow nice and big and beautiful. I may give some of this to my auntie. I gave her some of that yellow, and she really liked that yellow. I'm going to have to ask her if she'd like some. But there we go. Ooh, that is so soft up under there. Okay, so we've got all of that out. And I've got one clump right here. And I'm okay with that little clump because it will continue to multiply. And I'm just going to tamp in that iris to make sure that those roots are connecting with the soil the way it needs to. And then I'm going to take off these dead leaves from around it. Just like so. And excuse me, y'all, if you hear me struggling. I'm having a hard time this winter. I don't recall last winter being this difficult for me, but my allergies, they really are not happy with what's going on right now. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Okay, so I have, let me put this edging back in here because I dislodged that. There we go. That way my soil doesn't fall off into the lawn. All right, everybody, and that's all. You just dig up what you want and leave what you want to keep. And so I'll show you all once I get done. I'm going to speed this up and I'm going to dig up some more. And then I'll figure out what I want to do. I definitely do not want to put this anywhere else in the garden. I don't want to make a larger flower bed over here, even though I could if I wanted to, but I really don't. I could take this all the way down to the fence, but I really don't want to do that. I did run a irrigation line back here. I don't know if you all can see it, but I've got the water tubing, the main line tubing running all the way through here from the front garden. And if I wanted to put irrigation over here, I could. I have set it up to where if I want to put it, I can. So let's get to digging up this patch right here, and I'll be back. Now, this one, which is up under the window closest to the buckets, I took it all out. And the reason why I did that is because it began to infiltrate up under my metal ornament statue yard art right here. It was going up towards the foundation, and it actually was beginning to rest near the iris, and I didn't want that. So you can see how big and beautiful these roots get. They're absolutely great, grand. The roots long and big and beautiful. The rhizomes nice, thick and chunky and beautiful. Look at that. That's absolutely gorgeous. And so what I'm going to do is take this clump and I'm going to put it right here in the center. And I'm just repositioning it where I want it to be. And then I'm just going to backfill. And I did dig up this mom. The mom is sitting right here. I'm just going to backfill this right here. And I'm going to take this and put it in the box because I don't need it. And I ended up with more than I thought I actually was going to dig up. I wasn't going to dig up a lot, and I didn't dig up a lot, but it ended up being a lot because, and I'll show you in a minute, because it was up under the soil. And the more you have up under the soil that you don't see, that's what will come up. And it's beautiful. It's big and lush and beautiful. And I don't want it to, like I said, infiltrate the pathway. I don't want it up against the foundation of the house. And so I went ahead on and dug it out and repositioned it where I want it to be. And you can do that with a lot of your flowers, rhizomes, and everything. And so I'm just going to move this mulch back over here, getting it away from the rhizome of the iris because I don't want it to. I'm just going to press those roots down for the iris, making sure that the roots are under the soil and has soil contact, but that the bulb itself, the rhizome itself, is actually getting some sun. So I'm just trying to make sure that it is going to get what it needs, and I'm hoping that it'll be fine. So I'm just going to move this wood chip, and I don't know if you all can see it, but here is the main distribution water line that I was telling you all about that I laid last year sometime. That way, if I want to put irrigation over here, I can. And so I'm just going to tamp this in with my foot so that it gets contact with the soil and that it's firmed in, trying not to step on the actual rhizomes. And then I'm just going to cover it up like that. And When it's ready, it will send up however many shoots it wants to send up. But I took it down to a small little clump in that area right there. So if I want to plant something else around here, I can. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tackle the one nearest the AT&T wire. I'm feeling really hesitant to do that, but I really need to try to get some of that taken out because I don't want it to interfere with the AT&T. In actuality, all actuality, I think I should take all of it out. It messes with my symmetry, but I think I should take it all out and shift it down. You all can't see. Hang on a second. I think I should take all of this out and shift it down to probably right about here. It's a little bit closer to the rose than I want it to be, but I think I need to shift it down. Just dig as much of it out as I can on this side and pull what I can from over there. Hopefully it's not going to disturb anything. And then leave this clean and clear. Leave this patch here clean and clear. So I'm going to just start digging over here and pulling as much as I can, using my hands to get at what I can. And then what I'll do is I will shift it and place it right where the mum was. I place it closer to where the mum used to be. And hopefully, because there's a gladiolus that comes up right here. That's why I've got this wire to kind of hold it back. But I want to get this away from here and then leave this patch clean and clear. What I might do is instead of putting the piggy hydrangea on the other side, I could put the piggy hydrangea right here. And that way, hopefully it will give some definition. So that way I know that if anything crosses over to this space here, I've got to immediately dig it out and then just put the piggy hydrangea right here. And that way this is not messing with anything over here. And the piggy hydrangea won't have anything around the base. So I just have to make sure that I keep this from coming over, if that makes sense. So let's get this dug out and pray for me, y'all, that I don't mess up nothing because, yeah, I don't want to do that. So let me get this done. I want to show you something. I began to move the mulch from over this spot right here. And these are new cannas that would be showing up very soon in spring because the weather is warming up. And so it had begun to push new babies over here into the mum, and it would have grown up here. So I will take these babies out, and there's a lot of them. There's just a lot of shoots coming up. And so that's why I want to dig this whole clump out and move it down. I actually would leave this here, but I'm going to take it all out and then put what I want back in because I want to see how much of this is going that way. Because as you see, it does go in the way it feels like it wants to go. So let's get this out of here, y'all, because I can't let it continue to filter and move over and push into the AT&T. So, all right, let's do it. All right, everybody. I don't know how much of that you all saw. I had to get on my hands and knees and dig around with my hands because I did come across a couple of wires. Excuse me. And I did not want to bother those at all. I did uncover them. I'm going to lay the little pieces of wire that the technician cut and just laid here. I'm going to lay them here. So that is my indicator that there's wires there. I know he said he cut one of them, so one of them is not active, but it doesn't matter. I don't want to mess with either one of them. And so I had to dig out by hand a couple of pieces right around there. And so I feel really bad about it because I had to tear at it. This will still grow. This will produce, but I hate that I had to tear it up so bad. So there's some roots still there. It's possible another one will come. I'll have to do the same thing and remove it to make sure that it is not growing around those wires. So what I've decided to do, because this will send runners, it'll send rhizomes, I've decided not to put another one close to that. I think what I might do is just put a piggy hydrangea right here, and that's my indicator that between here and this piggy that nothing needs to be planted here. And I'll only have one canna lily on this side. It hurts my heart. I hate to do it because it throws off my symmetry. I don't like it, but it's something that has to get done because I know that this will send out lots of beautiful rhizomes and it'll pop up where it wants to pop up. And I probably again will have another piece popping up here and I'll have to keep taking it out. But putting the piggy hydrangea right here, then I won't have to worry about so much. It's my visual indicator that I should not be planting in this spot right here. So I'm going to get the piggy. It's actually over here to my left, and I'm going to put it in that spot. And I'm just only going to have one of the, sorry y'all, I'm not feeling well today. I'm actually feeling a little bit dizzy. I will get the area cleaned up, and I may or may not put one right here. We'll see. Let me think about it while I go over here. All right, y'all. I've got the hydrangea. Excuse me. I've got the hydrangea, and I'm gonna put the hydrangea in. I'm gonna put the hydrangea, probably right here. Yeah, I'll probably put the hydrangea right here, and that way, like I said, it'll be a visual for me. I need to figure something out with this. This is not sitting correctly. Oh, y'all, I do apologize for today's video. I was out in the garden, like I mentioned earlier, yesterday for many hours, and it caused my allergies to go into overdrive. And so I am not myself today. This is not going in the ground the way I would like. So let's get up and use my foot. All right. There we go. Okay, so like I said, I've got the hydrangea, and I want to be very careful, but I'm going to put the hydrangea over here. And I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. This is like a mental note that I'm just trying to work it all out to make sure that I am not causing myself more harm than good later on down the road. This is about the same spot that's the hydrangea is over there. And so I'm going to place this one right here. So I'm just going to dig a hole. Ooh, y'all, I'm having a day. And it feels like there is a stone. See, I can't even, there's lots of stones in this soil, y'all. And there's a rock there. Excuse me, y'all. I'm sniffing. It's real life over here. There's a rock. So I got to figure out how to get around it. Let's see. Let me get something. Again, sorry for sniffling. Whew, I got to hurry up. I don't think I can do a whole lot more today. I'm trying to figure out where the edge of this stone is. I know y'all can hear it. But there is a stone right where I want to put this hydrangea. And it has got to come out. Let's see if I can. There we go. Sorry, y'all. There's lots of stones and rocks and bricks in this yard. I'm always uncovering something. Now that looks like a route to maybe my I've got some, what else? I have bulbs over here. So I have to be careful. I don't want to unearth a bulb. And I think I've run into another stone. Yep. Oh, y'all, that's why I don't like digging in the ground. That's another reason why I have a lot of things in containers, is this ground is not digging friendly. It's not digger friendly. So I got to get this stone out, figure out where the edge of it is. This one's not as big, but still. I'm actually kind of tuckered out. I did a lot of digging trying to get these cannas out of here, and I'm tuckered right now. And my allergies are clowning me. I can feel another stone. Excuse me, you all. I can feel it. Now over here, this is a lot of clay. A lot of clay soil over here. And because of the wood chip, some of it has broken down and made for some nice soil. But for the most part, this is just clay. It's terrible. Some people like it. I'm not too fond of it, but I have a mixture of clay and sand. I think I've mentioned to you all before that they brought truckloads of sand over here, and when they went to level out, they didn't level anything. They just dumped sand on top of the ground. And so there's tons and tons of sand. And when you start digging around, you'll run into the clay. So it's terrible. All right, let's see. I hope you all can see what I'm doing. If you can, I do apologize, y'all. I am truly tuckered out, and today's video is showing that. But I don't make false content. You either like what's going on over here or you don't. You watch or you don't. I do my best to be as authentic as I possibly can be. There we go. And you position it how you want it to look, you all, and then just backfill with your native soil, like so, like that. There we go. Like I said, I do have bulbs over here. I put some gladiolus. Sorry, y'all. I'm not thinking today. Like I said, I'm starting to get really tuckered out. I've been doing a lot of digging, and the weather has been going from cold to temperate, and it's nice today, but I started out not feeling well because I had a sneezing fit from yesterday, and today is no different. So if I have enough energy, I will come back and put some chicken manure and some grain, the fertilizer over here. Oh, goodness gracious. And then we will call it a day because, like I said, I am quickly running out of steam and I'm very tired now. I'm feeling it. I'm truly feeling it. Okay. I will need to put some mulch over here because I have to have mulch in my garden. Living in South Texas, you can't have soil that's not covered by something because, as you all can tell, the weeds over here is ridiculous. It didn't used to be this way, but here we are. All right, so I've got the hydrangea planted. I will water it in, and I was going to tackle some of these weeds, but I can't. The sun is coming out, and I can't be over here now. It's too much for me. So I'm going to clean up, and I'll have to water and put the I'll have to put the mum in another time because I cannot. I just cannot. So I'm going to stake the stake right here, excuse me, far away from the AT&T because we don't want to puncture anything. All right, everybody. Let's see. Let's take a look at the handiwork. The weeds will have to wait until maybe tomorrow because it's too sunny out here for me on this side, and I've got to call it a day. But I went ahead on and pulled out that rose stick because as I was pulling, it did release. So I went ahead and clipped another piece and put it in the ground, watered it in. It's going to be warm for the next few days, so hopefully it will start thinking about putting down some roots. As you can see, I've chopped everything down. I went ahead on and put in this spot right here a small rhizome for the canna. I will have to keep an eye on it and make sure that I keep it small like that one. So in the spring or winter, I will look at it again and dig out what I need to dig out. I put the hydrangea right here. I hope you all can see that, but that is the hydrangea. This area right here, I will not be planting anything in that area because of course that is the AT&T lines, and I just left the wires down there so that I know not to be messing with that. I probably will have a canna come up because there was some roots that I couldn't get with my hands, and I didn't want to use a spade, a shovel, or a trowel or anything to be digging around in here, so I didn't do it. This piggy hydrangea is alive. It is asleep, but it will wake up when it's ready. I do still need to pull a couple more weeds. I can see some weeds in the back there, but I did put some fertilizer down. I put some granulated fertilizer, some chicken manure, and some time release fertilizer over here. Fertilize it really well, and I just took that clipping from behind. That way the rose is not scrubbing up against the house. So I just took it from back there. That way it grows up straight and not leaning towards the house or towards the walkway because I can't have that. I've got gladiolus bulbs over in the ground. They'll come up when they're ready. And I have the one clump here that I downsized and the one clump here that I downsized. And then of course I have the iris over there. I may need to put an iris right here as well. That way I've got one in that corner, one here, and then those over there. I want to say, yes, this one has a baby. So I'm going to dig around there and see if I can take that baby and put that baby right here before I go in, right there. That way I've got irises flanking the window. So let's see what I can do with that iris, and then I'll pull the remaining few little green weeds that I see, and we're done with this side. When you think you don't have a lot of canna rhizomes, look at all the canna rhizomes I pulled out of this bed right here. All of that came from here. And I don't need any of this. So I need to find homes for this as well. So again, if you are one of my subscribers and you are following me on IG, you can send me a message. And if you'd like some canna lilies, either peach or coral color or yellow, I have tons and tons that I've got to find homes for. I took the tiny little baby off of that iris. It had one long root and one tiny root, so I'm hoping it'll survive. Everything's watered in. I will need to put mulch over here like I mentioned, and I put the tiny baby right there. So I put the root in the ground, covered it up. It has a tiny bit of the rhizome. It's a tiny rhizome, so I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. I'm going to put a little bit of water on it and keep an eye on it. And as I'm looking over here, I do have a couple of areas in this wall, on this wall, that will also need to be caulked. And so I don't think they did a very good job. I got a lot of work to do, but that's not going to happen today. I'll do that later on in the week. So excuse my shadow, but let me finish up. Let me get these in the garage, and I have watered everything over here. I have opened up the citrus area. The variegated Eureka lemon has a little bit of beat up on it, but that's to be expected. But everything else looks really good over here. These pots did not need to be watered. They are already nice and moist. But I watered everything along this side that I worked on. I watered the moringa, the lemongrass, the flower bed in here that has lots of bulbs and seeds of all different varieties. Watered the lemongrass. Watered all the babies that I transplanted. Sorry about that I transplanted over here. As you can see, I have uniformed clumps. This is a mallow. It is called Midnight. I don't know. Let's clean that off so that maybe we can see. It is a Midnight Merlot. It's a rose mallow, and I bought it sometime last year. It's dormant right now. It's asleep. It's not dead, but I do need to keep the excuse me, the cannas from shading it out because it will get what are those little things called? It'll get infested with these little white bugs. I'm gonna have to spray it because I can see some remnants of it right there. I can't think of the name of them, but I will spray this down with some neem oil because those are all dead. Matter of fact, I will cut all that off and put that in the compost bin now because those limbs are all dead. It dies back every year. I don't want any type of bugs or infestations. So I dug up the vast majority of this clump. I didn't dig it up right next to the water fountain. I'll have to move the water fountain in order to remove a couple of those, but I did not want to move the water fountain just yet. I'll do that in the winter of 2026, this coming winter, not the current right now, but I will dig this clump up a little bit more and take it down by probably half. And we'll see if I need to do that for the rest of these. But I did go ahead on and dig out that a rose stick. It did not root. It was just deep down in the ground. So I pulled that out. I put a new clipping in there, watered it in. I will keep everything watered. I was going to throw these pathetic looking pitiful mums away, but I went ahead and put them in the ground anyway. We'll see whether or not they'll do anything. I broke them up into threes. So I've got one here, I've got one there, and I got one tiny little raggedy piece right there. And so everything is watered, everything is looking good. I even moved some of the Johnny Jump Ups. I had some Johnny Jump Ups that jumped over there by the trash can, so I moved them from there. I had a piece that was in front of the air conditioning unit. I moved it from there, and I just put the Johnny Jump Ups just in and around here. It's okay if they self-seed and come back every year. That's one less thing I need to resow, and I think they're very pretty. So the more they multiply, the better for me. I'll try to collect seeds this year and save seeds so that I can put them in the garden and the food forest in different places where I'd like them to be. I will be taking another piece of this comfrey. As a matter of fact, I'm going to dig a piece up from the front yard and I'm going to put some comfrey. I was going to put another piggy hydrangea right there. Let me think about it. But I do want to put some comfrey. I might be able to put a clump right in the center right here. I don't know, but I do want to get some comfrey. I want to put another clump of comfrey. Maybe I'll put a clump right over there because I want the comfrey over here for chop and drop. So let's wrap this video up. Let me say goodbye because it's time to go. And I'm gonna show you one more time how much I dug. This is the box of the peach and or coral cannas that I dug up. It's a whole box full. So I'm going to be putting those in the garage and covering them with a little bit of just a plastic trash bag, just laying over the top so they can stay a little bit moist while I figure out what to do with them. Sorry, I'm holding my camera funky, but all of this came out of the garden. Can you believe that? I don't have anywhere else I want to put the peach color, or I would transplant some of this in and around the garden, but I just don't have anywhere else I want to put it because I have other colors in other areas, as you all know. So let's say a nice goodbye. It has been a full day again today. I've been out here for about 3, maybe 4 hours, and I still have some more things to do. I really have to work on the trellis for the butterfly pea, but that's not going to happen today. I probably won't have a lot of time for the remainder of the week, but I will do my best to come out here and do a little something, because in the back fence garden, I'm going to be transplanting the bucket garden into those big 20-gallon containers. So I can do that in a 2-hour time block, because that's pretty much all I'm going to have for the remainder of the week. Every day, 2 hours. And I need more than 2 hours to tackle the butterfly pea. So that's probably what I'll do for the remainder of the week. So until then, I want to say thank you for joining me in the garden today. It's been a tough one for me because of my allergies. I'm really struggling this year, y'all. This winter I'm struggling. So I'm gonna go in, and again, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this content. You know what to do. If you did, like, leave me a comment. Tell me what you're doing in your winter garden. Share the video to someone who you think it might benefit. If you have a new gardener and they're thinking about putting in cannas, show them what cannas will do. They're beautiful, but you will need to break them up every year unless you have a space where you don't want to do that. But the spaces that I have are close to my house foundation, and so I don't want them growing like that. And I don't mind because they're not hard to get up. The hardest part is if there's something in the way that if you mess around with it, you could mess up a whole lot of stuff, like that AT&T underground cable. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I've already had the AT&T people come out to rebury the line. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to talk about it. So again, thank you for joining me. Um, hit that thumbs up, share the video. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel because you're not quite sure, take a look at my previous videos. I'm going to put a playlist either here or here. Take a look at my previous videos. You might actually like the content that I have that's going on over here. My garden is unlike anybody else's garden. My garden is my garden, and it is a mishmash of this and that. It's not always pretty. It's not always productive, but it's very satisfying and very rewarding. And when I get abundance, I get abundance. And this year, that is what I'm working on, putting in more spaces in the places that I have to have abundance. And so until next time, bye for now. And if no one's told you today that you are loved and wanted and needed in this world, you are. Bye, y'all.